Hey guys, this is the real Big Jeff. Welcome to the UFC 177 FastCap. Today we're going to go through the fights that were on the card here and tell you who won, things like that. Then at the end I'm going to give you who I thought was the fight of the night, and then also who I thought was the fighter of the night, and then also give you my final thoughts on the card. First up, we got Mendes versus Jackson. This fight started off really good for both the fighters. They were both punching back and forth, man, just going at it. The first round, I actually gave it 10-9 to Mendes, and the reason why is because he was being a little more aggressive and connecting a little bit more, things like that. In the second round, that they were doing pretty much the same as the first, slowed down just a bit, but finally Mendes caught Jackson in the guillotine, and Jackson immediately tried to spit out of it, but Mendes kept the hold, ended up in a weird position, and ended up catching Jackson with the reverse guillotine choke. Next up, we got Nijm versus Fierro. Again, both fighters came out. They were throwing bombs, connecting with each other, things like that. Very, very high pace. Fierro knocked Nijm down twice in the first round. And so definitely I gave that first round 10-9 to Vera. Second round came out. Again, same type of thing, just dropping bombs. Both of them definitely trying to knock each other out. Then Nijm was coming in trying to connect with the combo, and Fierro definitely just caught him with the right hook. So second round KO by Fierro. Third fight was Poirier versus Besler. This fight, the first round was pretty slow, kind of boring. Mostly just grappling, not very much punching going on, things like that. But I definitely gave the first round to Besler, 10-9, and the reason why is because she was controlling the grappling, things like that. But again, not too much action going on in that one. The second round, man, this lady Poirier, she came out like an animal, and she just started dropping combos on Besler, man, just swinging for the fences every single time. And finally, after so many uncontested shots, and I think Besler was out on her feet, to be honest with you, Big John McCarthy finally stepped in and stopped the fight. And so I don't know if Ronda Rousey's ever fought anybody with the stand-up that this lady showed Poirier. So look out, Ronda Rousey. Next, the co-main event, Ferguson versus Costello. First, I'm going to tell you, I graded this round 1, 2, and 3 as a 10-9 for Ferguson. And he ended up winning, split decision. But to me, this fight wasn't even close. Ferguson was the more aggressive fighter. The other guy, Costello, he would wrestle the guy down at the end of the rounds, and then just hold him and lay on top of him. And even with Ferguson being on the bottom, he was still winning the fight with punches from the bottom. This is the UFC. This is not an Olympic wrestling game. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely don't see how there's any argument that he won that fight. To me, the more active fighter, the more aggressive fighter should win. And that's the bottom line. And I think if Costello would have got him on the ground, did a little more ground and pound, things like that, then I definitely would have gave the fight to Costello. But just throwing him down, sitting on top of it, I mean, come on. And I mean, even the total strikes landed, they can speak for themselves. Ferguson won that 105-44. I mean, that's not even close. So you be the judge on that one. Then the main event was Dillashaw versus Soto. This was actually an entertaining fight. And you got to give a lot of props to Soto for stepping up, man. 24-hour notice for a title fight, 5 rounds. I mean, that's tough, definitely. The only thing I didn't like about this fight, man, was Dillashaw was throwing a bunch of punches. But I mean, the majority of them were light, soft punches, and the majority of them were getting blocked. So I think they were counting them on the score. I wasn't feeling that. So the first round, I definitely gave Dillashaw. He was pushing the pace, things like that, throwing more. Soto was connecting, but very, very little. But then in the second round, I'm probably the only one, but I gave it 10-9 Soto. And the reason why is because he was connecting more, and they were more solid shots, not just little, touching pads. I mean, touching, I wasn't feeling that from Dillashaw. But and definitely you can see on the face who was getting the more damage, Dillashaw's face was kind of banged up. Soto's face, it looked like he had a broken nose, but other than that, I mean, he looked good. But the rest of the rounds, round 3, round 4, Dillashaw was definitely doing enough to win the rounds, things like that. Come the 5th round, he definitely got that KO with the kick and then the straight right. The fight of the night was definitely Nijum versus Vera. And again, this fight was extremely high-paced, very exciting. Both fighters were definitely going for the knockout. They both kind of would just plant their feet and just start swinging for the fences. But again, this one was, the fight of the night was a toss-up between Nijum and Fierro or Dillashaw versus Soto. But again, with the aggressiveness that Nijum and Fierro were showing, I definitely have to give them the fight of the night. Fighter of the night was definitely TJ Dillashaw. He got notice 24 hours that his fighter couldn't cut the weight, and he had a new opponent. I mean, that's tough to come out and do that, especially at that high level. I mean, this is championship level. And he came out, still had his game plan, still dominated the fight, and got the finish on top of that. So definitely Dillashaw put on the excellent performance. Final thoughts. My final thoughts on this was that, despite the last minute change in the main event for a title fight, all the mishaps that Dana White was talking about, before the UFC card, still they delivered a solid fight card. The card was not stacked with UFC superstars or anything like that. They actually provided, nice performances with plenty of stoppages. There was maybe 1 or 2 that went to the judges. I think just 1 actually. So the card was definitely worth a pay-per-view. And my thing next is I'm looking for Dillashaw. Who's he going to fight next? Who's next in line for him? And then also, I'm looking to see how close now Correa is to getting a title shot for the women's bantamweight title. Definitely after she was calling out Ronda Rousey. She's already beat 2 of the 4 women's men, whatever they like to call themselves. So I'm definitely looking to see if she can get that title shot. So this is definitely the UFC 177 FastCap. Please, if you like this, continue to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and be ready for more. And also coming up, I'm going to have the NFL weekly quick picks. I'm going to be doing a fast cap of every single Dallas Cowboy game. I'm going to be doing a fast cap of all the WWE pay-per-views coming up every month. And I'm going to be doing all of the UFC pay-per-views fast cap. So please like, please subscribe, and definitely look out for more.